Hey, what's up guys? Rob here from Movie Review Time. Welcome to another Thrill Me Thursdays video, which was created by Hey, Isn't That Devon Graham? Even though by the time you see it, it's going to be Friday. Better late than never though. The topic for this week is top 5 blockbuster video horror rentals. Kind of interesting. I had to actually think about this one because I didn't have a Blockbuster video. I live in a small town that has a family video, which there are actually a lot of family videos going strong now, still in the US. But we had, a family video and another video store called R&R Video, which went out of business. That was going on in the late 80s and 90s. But R&R Video had everything. They had all like cannibal films on VHS. They had like imports and just everything you can think of on VHS. I probably rented from there more than I did Family Video. But then, Family Video drove them into the ground and, now we just have that. So, it's still going strong today though, you can still get some pretty good stuff in there. But anyway, yeah, I didn't have a Blockbuster video. So, I know in the video he mentioned that if you didn't have a Blockbuster video, you can just name another video store. So, I'm just going to talk about, my local stores. I picked out my top 5 horror rentals that I used to go and rent all the time. And then I have some honorable mentions here that I want to talk about a little bit. So I'll go over those first. Here we have Ice Cream Man. This is the Vinegar Syndrome Blu-ray version. I love the original cover art to the VHS, which I'm actually still looking for. But that is what sold me on renting the movie, the cover art to this movie. Amazing. Clint Howard. The thing is, that's what cover arts used to do back then. I mean, I guess they still do that now, but there was something about VHS. Something about grabbing it off the shelf, seeing that awesome cover art, and turning it around. It's just, I don't know what it was. There was just some weight to VHS, and just the original cover arts is just really what sold me on a lot of those rentals. But yeah, Ice Cream Man. Then there was King Kong vs. Godzilla. And there were many versions of this. Like, I remember there was the clamshell VHS. Then there was the regular slipcover VHS. Then the DVD was like a bare bones DVD. And here I have it on Blu-ray. I remember when I used to rent this though, I used to eat a bag of chips all the time. Like, it was like a ritual. Like, I had to have a bag of chips while I eat this. I don't know why. I really don't. 1976 King Kong. Funny story with this one. My dad had this recorded on a blank VHS tape. He recorded off the TV. And something happened to it. So I always used to rent this. Because I love this movie. I love the 30s version more. But this is definitely a close second. Jeff Bridges and Jessica Lange, who is smoking hot in this movie. Smoking hot. I'm sorry. But yeah, King Kong is awesome in this film. This is awesome. I used to just rent that all the time. And the cover art to this was very different too. I remember on the cover, it was just like a hairy King Kong. Like, his hair was all frizzy. It looked like he had been wet. And then someone like blow dried him. And like his hair was... It's a weird cover, but yeah, it looks nothing like that. Now here's one that this was very interesting because there were 2 cannibal films that I used to rent all the time, and from R&R Video on VHS, and they were called they were different names on VHS, and this one is Eaten Alive, which was actually called The Emerald Jungle. Now, not to be confused with The Emerald Forest. That's a completely different film. I believe I have that somewhere, The Emerald Forest. But anyway, this was called The Emerald Jungle, and it had there was different cover art to it. It's about that cult that lives in the middle of the jungle, and it's on the outside are the cannibals, and like there's like this ritual going on within the city, and if you go outside the city, the cannibals will get you. Yeah, this one, I just remember this. I remember renting this all the time. It's just, I was so infatuated with cannibal films. There was just something about the explicit nature of cannibal movies. I don't know what it was. It was like, it was so real to me that the shock of seeing someone you know, getting impaled or something, and it was so realistic. I couldn't take my eyes off it. Cannibal Holocaust is the one that really did it to me. But anyway, yeah, the Emerald Jungle, aka Eaten Alive, was definitely one that I used to rent. Pet Sematary and Pet Sematary 2, definitely used to rent these. And the thing is, like, I probably rented Pet Sematary 1 more, because that's just such a creepy film, and I just couldn't stop watching it. But Pet Sematary 2 I remember renting as well. And I do not know why I always rented this. I don't know why, but Jaws 3, there was something about Jaws 3. I think it was just because it was different from the others, because I had seen Jaws 1 and 2 plenty of times, but Jaws 3, you know, it took place in SeaWorld, and I had been to SeaWorld, and it's like, it's so weird. Like, I always used to rent it because, maybe because of that, I don't know. I really don't know why I did it. I try to think back on what was going in, what was going through my mind at the time. Why did I go to the video store to rent Jaws 3? I don't know. Now, the last one I have here is almost like a martial arts / horror film, because a lot of the stuff that happens in the first act in the beginning, you can consider that like horror violence. It's like a ninja killing people, and it is Ninja 3: The Domination. Now this has, this had many versions. The VHS was really awesome, but then I got the DVD, and then it actually came out on Blu-ray twice. I believe there's a Scream Factory version, then there's another version that came out on Blu-ray. But this movie is crazy. Like in the beginning, this ninja goes around killing golfers and like using all his ninja weapons, and then these cops show up and he starts taking out the cops. He starts killing them with, ninja stars, ninja sword. Just crazy stuff. He gets a golf ball and he crushes it. He lifts a golf cart with his hand, and these guys are trying to escape. There's some great martial arts in this, and like some great scenes, but it's like a horror film almost. But this is one I used to rent all the time because of that. Like, I always loved the scenes where they would, the scene where he would like kill all those guys and the police officers and stuff. Yeah, really, really good film. Brings back a lot of memories. So anyway, let's get on to my top 5, starting with number 5, and that is the Unnameable. This is a film that is very, very rare. The VHS to this is very rare, and it did not come out on DVD, which is weird. They released The Unnameable 2 out on DVD. I believe I have that. Yeah. See, I have The Unnameable 2 on DVD, and for some reason this one never got a DVD release, which I always thought that, was weird. I'm like, we're never going to get, if we're not going to get a DVD release, we're definitely going to get a Blu-ray release. But we got a Blu-ray release. MVD Visual released it, and it's an unearthed classic. Now, I used to rent this, like I said, all the time on VHS, and I loved it. And I still do. I think it holds up very, very well. This is a newly restored 4K transfer of the film, and not a lot of people know about this movie, and probably because it was so rare. But horror fans definitely know this. But yeah, this is one I used to rent back in the day. Okay, so number 4, like I was talking about cannibal films, I already showed you one cannibal film that I used to rent all the time. Here is another one that I used to rent all the time with a different name. Cannibal Ferox. Now, that's not what it was called when it was on VHS. It was called Make Them Die Slowly, which they have it up there. They actually included it up there. I remember it was a clamshell, or it was like either a big box or a clamshell box, and it had the same cover art, but it was like a greenish color, and it had Make Them Die Slowly. That's what the title was. It wasn't Cannibal Ferox on VHS. So I used to rent that all the time. And again, I don't know what it was that attracted me. Maybe it was the violence, maybe because it was so realistic that I couldn't keep my eyes off it. When the girl's getting hung by her boobs, and the guy gets his dick cut off, and then they put him under the table and slice the top of his head off, and they start eating his brains. there was just something about that. I couldn't stop watching it. I don't know why. Maybe I'm sick-minded. I don't know. But that's definitely one I used to rent from R&R, like all the time, because they had everything. Number 3 is Day of the Dead. I freaking love this movie. Dawn of the Dead I used to watch so much, but Day of the Dead I didn't see as much as Dawn, so I always rented it. And I love the beginning when they're, you know, they're in the helicopter, they land in the city, and they're sitting there yelling, seeing if anybody's still alive, and then all of a sudden you see these zombies start coming, and then the guy's all freaking out, like, let's go, and they get in the helicopter to leave because all these zombies are coming towards them, and they go into the compound, and the zombies are outside the fence, and they go underground. It's like, oh my God. Yeah, this film, I don't know what it was, it bothered me a lot. Maybe because of the claustrophobic aspect of it, because I'm claustrophobic, but underground with zombies. And why didn't this bother me as much? I don't know. But yeah, this movie, awesome. I used to rent it. Number 2 is Halloween 4, The Return of Michael Myers. What made me rent this one all the time is I remember seeing this one on TV. It was during Halloween, and I rented it just all the time because I loved it. You know, after Halloween 3 not having Michael Myers in it, this was basically his return. And I had seen 1 and 2, but Halloween 4, there was just something about it. It's definitely one of my favorites even today. And there are a lot of things that don't make sense about this movie, but I don't care. It's just very entertaining. I like pretty much everything about it. I love the score to this, the theme. But yeah, Michael Myers is back here, and I think that's one of the reasons why I was used to rent it. The number 1 movie that I rented all the time, and I believe that's the reason is because it's my number 1 favorite horror movie of all time. And because I used to rent it all the time, you know, it just sunk into my brain, and I just loved everything about, everything about it, and that is Stanley Kubrick's The Shining. I was hooked from the first time I saw this, and I rented it a lot. I think this movie is a horror masterpiece, and you know, there are a lot of horror masterpieces out there. I think this one takes the cake. It really does. And I loved, just really quick on a side note, I loved Dr. Sleep. Dr. Sleep was fabulous. It was fantastic. I could probably call that a masterpiece too. That, oh my God, it was so good. But The Shining, yeah, you know, on a lot of lists when it does, you know, when it comes to horror lists and you have different categories and stuff, this movie ends up on a lot of my lists, and especially on the top. Yeah, like I said, it's just a masterpiece to me, and I just always used to rent it, and yeah. So, quick recap: number 5 is of course the Unnameable. Then there's Cannibal Ferox, aka Make 'Em Die Slowly. And then there's George A. Romero's Day of the Dead. And then there's Halloween 4, Return of Michael Myers. And then The Shining. So, yeah, that is my top 5, my top 5 Blockbuster video horror rentals, so to say. And hope you enjoyed this video. Just want to thank Hey Isn't That Devon Graham for coming up with these really cool themes every week. Really, really awesome and creative. And so, yeah, stay tuned for more videos. And this is Rob signing off, and I'll see you guys next time.